It's been a handful of gear that I've purchased throughout my filmmaking journey that I didn't like or I just flat out regret buying. But these pieces of filmmaking gear are things that I was a little bit hesitant on buying at first, but once I did, I wish I had did it so much sooner. The first piece of filmmaking gear that I wish that I bought sooner is a backdrop kit. I freaking love this backdrop kit that I have. Not because of the particular backdrop kit itself, but just what it allows me to do. So before I get into that, let's just talk about what a backdrop kit is. It's basically just two light stands with a bar in the middle that allow you to attach either paper backdrop to it or fabric backdrop to it or whatever you want. You can use it for a ton of different things. I invest into the backdrop paper or the fabric one time and then I'm able to use it multiple times in the future. I don't have to rent out a big studio. I just love this, man. So I have mine down in the garage and you guys have seen me use this a ton in the past with my behind the scenes for my music videos. If I'm looking to just add a little quick touch of flair to the music video, or even if I want to do green screen stuff, I'm just going down into my garage, throwing some green paper on there, setting up some lights, and then we have something that looks really professional that really didn't cost us that much money to do. Now, when it comes to backdrop solutions, there's a ton that you can get. The possibilities are endless, and I think that this adds to the experience of using it as well. I have green, blue, pink, ton of different colors, but they pretty much have every color that you can ever think about. Also got this really cool canvas backdrop. And I also just head to my local fabric store a lot of the times to just buy cool looking fabrics that I like. I pin these up onto the backdrop stand. You guys have seen me do this before, like this music video that I did for my Omi A1 Haven. I also really like the fact that the backdrop kit allows me to practice. If I have a lighting setup that I know that I want to try for an upcoming music video, I could just head down to the garage, set up some lights, and test it out on myself to see how it would look before I get to the shoot. That way I'm not there and I'm stumped and I don't know why this doesn't look the way it looks in my head. I've already practiced the setup and I already know what it's gonna look like. Another really good use case for a backdrop kit is also photography. My wife is a beauty photographer. So if she has to set up a clean backdrop for a client, get some really close up, nice beauty photos, this is the play. I like it a lot. If you don't have a backdrop kit, I highly recommend you guys invest into one. This is definitely something that I wish that I had bought sooner. Comes in clutch for content, comes in clutch for music videos, comes in clutch for photography. It's just something you can beat. I feel like everybody should have one. The next piece of filmmaking gear that I wish that I bought so much freaking sooner is an SSD. This right here is the SanDisk Professional Pro G40 SSD. And this thing right here just is beautiful. It's black, it's silver, it got a nice stealth design to it. I love the way that this looks. And around the exterior of it, it has like this all rubberized build, which makes it rugged. So this is gonna protect your files from potentially corrupting whenever this drops and hits the ground. It's also just gonna make it a lot more durable whenever you're traveling with an SSD like this. So why would you need an SSD? For me personally, I edited so long off of like just regular hard drives, the portable ones. And I was always wondering why I would find myself in situations where my editing was laggy, or my exports was extremely slow, or my program was crashing, or the hard drive would just fail. And that really all just boiled down to using a traditional hard drive. They have so many moving parts inside, like the disk that spins, that just makes it so much more susceptible to failing. And also data throttling. SSDs like this are just so much better for editing, and this is like a vital tool to have whenever you're editing. And for the people who don't know, your storage solution can absolutely determine your editing experience. If you're editing off something that's super slow, it can make the computer lag, it can make your export slow, and it can even corrupt the data. And I've had that happen tons of times in the past, and it just freaking sucks. The great thing about the SanDisk Professional SSD is that it's extremely fast. It reads up to 2,700 megabytes per second and writes up to 1,900 megabytes per second. And for the people who don't know what any of these numbers means, it essentially just equates to how fast the experience of using this SSD is whenever you're editing or whenever you're transferring files to or from it. This SSD is extremely small. You guys can see right here, it fits in the palm of my hand. And this is just a plus whenever you're gonna be traveling with this. I just think that this is just a plus as a whole. It looks cool, it has that rubber exterior, it's extremely fast, and it's also 2 terabytes. They have a 1 terabyte option as well. There's gonna be a link down in the description for you guys to check out the SanDisk Professional Pro G40 SSD with Best Buy. Best Buy has the price match guarantee, and they also have shipping options available for pretty much everybody, so you can choose whatever one is best for you. Highly recommend you guys check this out. This is a great tool, and it's something that I feel like every creator essentially needs. Definitely something that I wish that I invested in a lot sooner. The next piece of gear that I wish that I bought sooner is this travel tripod that I'm actually using right now. Now this tripod is crazy because I have bigger tripods. I have better tripods, I have more expensive tripods that do pretty much everything better than this, like pan, tilt. They have a lot more stability if I want to put a slider on them, but A lot of the times I just need the camera to stay stationary. So this is the tripod that I gravitate towards like 99% of the time. I probably use this tripod every single day, which is crazy to even say. If I'm out filming YouTube content and I just need to get a clean shot of me on a tripod, this is gonna be the tripod that I'm picking up. If I'm testing out a camera, this is gonna be the tripod that I'm picking up. If I'm testing out a smartphone, this is gonna be the tripod that I'm picking up. This is just the one that I pick up the majority of the time, and I love it. And I would rather have this travel tripod with me when I'm out creating content over like a Gorilla Pod or like a Switch Pod, because they're so limited in the length that they can get to. This thing is lightweight, and if I need to pick it up and vlog with it in that Gorilla Pod style, I've even done that in the past before. I hate having to pick up my heavy tripod, even though I keep it in my trunk at all times. I rarely take it out because it's huge. I don't want to pick it up and move around with it and go from scene to scene. But with this, I literally just fold the legs in, walk with it, and I'm good. This is definitely something that I wish I had invested in sooner, because I was so in love with the bigger tripods and I thought that those were the play. But when it came to me creating content, which I do so often, I would much rather have this one. The next piece of filmmaking gear that I wish that I bought so much sooner is the Junior Boom arm setup. Now, I talk about this thing so often, but man, this is one of those things that you just absolutely have to try, and you'll see how much of a luxury it is to have it into your workflow whenever you're on set or just creating. So essentially the boom arm is just a longer extension arm that you can use for mounting things to it. I just kept finding myself in situations where the typical grip arm wasn't long enough. Maybe I want a wider shot, but I want to get an overhead light, and it just wouldn't work because the stand would be in the scene. One of my favorite use cases for the Junior Boom arm is just mounting a camera to it. Sometimes I want obscure angles that you just don't see on the regular. And the fact that I can just use a grip head and a spigot and mount my camera to it and throw it way up in the air and get a top-down shot without having a jib, I freaking love that. This boom arm is great, man. I can't recommend it enough. It's definitely something that I wish that I had bought a lot sooner. Before I get into the final thing that I wish that I invested in, I'll have two honorable mentions. The first one is gonna be the Rode NTG4 Plus microphone that I'm using right now. I use this microphone for the majority of my YouTube content, and I just freaking love it because I am a noob when it comes to audio. I don't know anything about audio adjustments, and this microphone just makes the process of getting clean audio so freaking easy, man. Whatever I point this at, it just sounds good. Aside from my YouTube content, I've used this on behind the scenes projects that I've had to do in the past, and also when I did my short film. This thing came in clutch to get the sound effects. I love the NTG4 Plus. It's such a great buy. If you want to invest in a high quality professional microphone, this is a great one. The next honorable mention is a baby pin plate. Have you ever been in a situation where you've wanted to get your light stand off the floor? Maybe you're in a small room, small office like mine, but you don't want a ton of different light stands on the ground, or even been on a music video set and you don't want to have light stands on the ground. The baby pin plate comes in clutch. It basically just screws into a stud in the wall, and then you have a mounting place for whatever you want to use it for. I have mine with the grip head and the grip arm, and then I just throw my light on it, and I can pivot my light wherever I need it in my office. This thing is just clutch. It's definitely something that I wish that I knew of earlier in my process of creating content. If you have a home studio, regular studio, or you're on a set, you want something like this, this is definitely a great buy. My last and final piece of filmmaking gear that I wish that I had bought sooner is my Timba camera bag. Now, it's so many good camera backpacks out there, but for me personally, I was tired of putting gear on my back. Have you ever been traveling? You got a backpack full of gear and you walking through the airport and everything's on your back and it just freaking hurts. Like, it just ruins the travel experience for me. I looked into a couple different backpacks and I came up on this Timba bag. The wheels were a plus for me, and also the additional padding that made it possible for me to be able to travel with my C70 and check it if I needed to. That was the initial reasons why I bought this bag. So the wheels on it are extremely smooth, and it has professional quality padding on it. So if you ever find yourself in that situation where they say no more overhead space and you have to check a bag, this thing comes in clutch, and it actually works really well. I've been in that situation before with my C70, checked the bag, everything came out good, nothing broke. So I've durability tested this bag. Next thing I really love about this bag is that it has locks if you need to use them. So if you ever find yourself in that situation and you want to make sure nobody's going into your bag and stealing stuff, or you're on a set, you can actually lock the bag, which is pretty dope. Another thing I really like about this bag is that it has these hard stops on the bottom, which keep the bag solid. I bought bags before in the past that were like super sturdy when I purchased them. They just go through typical wear and tear, me just throwing them on the ground, pulling my gear out, and before I know it, the bag just becomes soft. The fact that this bag has these hard stops on the bottom of it, it makes it so it always comes to a sturdy stop whenever you're off the wheels, and you can even sit on top of it. It's never gonna affect the structure of the bag. I love the fact that they put these hard stops on the bottom of it. And another thing that I really love about this bag is that it has a latch system when you open it. So after you unzip the top, you throw it back, It has these latches on it that just keep it from flopping all the way down and hitting the ground. This makes it a lot easier for you to pull your gear out and also keeps it from getting extremely dirty from it hitting the ground. This timber bag is incredible. It is expensive, but it is a professional grade bag. Timber is known for producing professional grade bags, and this one is no exception. It's just a great bag, man, all around. All my photographers and videographers, make sure you check out the SanDisk Professional Pro G40 SSD. Incredibly fast read and write speeds for editing, all in a compact, rugged design. A vital tool for creators. Shop via Best Buy using the link in the description. Again, they have great shipping options and a price match guarantee. Let me know one piece of filmmaking gear you wish you purchased sooner down in the comment section below, and drop me a like. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm out, y'all. Peace.